It took masculinity to defeat Nazi Germany in World War II. It took masculinity to mine coal.
I didn't see it going there. Not, at least not that quickly. You know, I thought, okay, maybe halfway through they could have done some kind of like, did you know the defeat of one of the worst individuals in human history, the dictator Adolf Hitler, was only done through, yep, you guessed it, masculinity. I'm just not the first example out of the gates, you know? That's a lot to live up to. The penis stormed the beaches of Normandy? Well, I'm learning all kinds of history today. I just noticed something the other day, and this is not unique to Dave Rubin, but it's certainly, he's one of the examples that you can see. The view count for the PragerU channel is just a complete oddity. And my running theory, because I know how much they kind of clown and or not like Dave Rubin, is that by showing such a low view count, as you see, it goes from 366,000 under Jack Posobiec, my fight to expose the media's woke narrative, in sandwiched in between the Constitution, the Civil Rights Amendment, and that has 470,000, to Dave Rubin's 15,000. It's not very good in the marketplace of ideas. And it kind of seems like they buy the views. It's probably what explains it the most. Like, we got PragerU Kids Civics Marathon, 2.8 thousand. At least, you know, well, I beat that. I'm better than that. Come on, Dennis. Give me another shot. Women's Surfing, that has 16,000. So this one's not too popular. Okay, and then what makes someone remarkable? I guess Dennis really wants to make sure that, you know, his stuff still appears to be doing well. So he seems to be the star almost of his own channel, which is also pretty obvious. They host them on their own website, so they promote other channels and embed them, I think, by views as possible, but don't forget that embedding other channels can cause the funky view count fluctuation. Yes, there is certainly the embedding. They use proprietary video hosting for their own site, but they do embed on the site as well. You're not wrong. I don't think the embedding alone would explain that massive of a jump up and down, because it'd be one thing, like, you can see organic channel drops, and you can see them kind of like, you know, die out over time, but you usually don't see them like as extreme roller coaster as this. Like going from 185,000 to 2.8, going from 366 to 15. I mean, it could be just based on the content. Maybe Dave isn't as
actually, I don't even know if I ever told you this. I was doing Larry King's show at Aura TV in Glendale over here, and I was a guest with this guy. You may have heard of him, Dennis Prager. You know this guy, tall guy, right here?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
And they brought me on as the liberal and Dennis as the conservative, but we ended up basically agreeing on everything. And I'm still on the Young Turks at this time. And Dennis and I kind of hit it off, and then I think probably a year later, the famous Why I Left the Left video came out.
Do you believe in free speech? Do you believe that people should be judged by their character, not their skin color?
Oh, wow. That could explain it. It's just a rerun after all. Just a couple seconds of, you remember my video. That's when they said, you want money. And I wanted money. All right, let's learn about how to embrace our masculinity then. This one looks popular.
What comes to mind when you think of the word masculinity? Do you think of this?
I can feel the testosterone running through my veins.
Or this?
Masculinity is not about having the biggest muscles or the best mustache. And despite what some confused people think, masculinity is not toxic.
Due to a shortage of beef jerky and TV dinners, we are on the verge of an economic collapse. And it's all due to toxic masculinity. Story 11.
Being a man isn't something to be ashamed of, so embrace your masculinity.
It took masculinity to defeat Nazi Germany in World War II. It took masculinity to mine coal.
I didn't see it going there. Not, at least not that quickly. You know, I thought, okay, maybe halfway through they could have done some kind of like, did you know the defeat of one of the worst individuals in human history, the dictator Adolf Hitler, was only done through, yep, you guessed it, masculinity. I'm just not the first example out of the gates, you know? That's a lot to live up to.
And keep America's homes warm. And it takes masculinity to have a solid family and a strong country today.
So grow up and be a man.
Yeah, be a man, not a little mouse.
I just don't understand this. I don't get the joke, that part.
Today we give you 4 tips on how to embrace your masculinity.
Okay.
Number 1, be independent financially and mentally.
You get how that's getting increasingly hard, and if you're gonna base your entire, gender on whether or not you can succeed at that, that's gonna get tough. It's gonna make things worse as they're gonna be correlated, they'll kind of be on a line together, like, oh wow, feeling anxious and depressed now because, again, less of a masculine man. My earning potential is more and more difficult in the current climate, but I can fix it. Individuality. If I individualize even harder, then I can man up. Yeah, more isolation sounds great. Let's isolate a bunch.
Teenage boy has a vision of being independent, and it usually looks something like this.
I'm sick of people.
Femininity is when codependent. There's nothing more feminine, than codependency. Yes, that is what defines woman.
Telling me what to do. I'm sick of the lectures. I'm sick of the rules, and I'm sick of this house.
Obviously, the desire to be independent is strong. It's just coming out in an angsty, immature way. Real masculinity is about becoming independent in a healthy way. It means becoming a strong person who's able to think for yourself and take responsibility for your life. Because let's face it, it's a lot easier to shirk responsibility.
That's not what people talk about when they talk about masculinity being toxic or having toxic elements. They're not going after that. That's okay. In fact, that's okay for all genders to have. Actually, it doesn't have to be a uniquely masculine thing. It's, again, you're naming traits that kind of all genders can enjoy.
Mooch off of others, and cling to codependent relationships. But that's not being a man. That's being a wuss. So here are some quick tips for how to become independent.
Yeah, fucking pussy. What, are you gonna be a fucking pussy? Or are you gonna be a fucking man?
The right
like PragerU.
Think about your future and make a plan to get where you want to be.
Again, not stuff that people are going after. It's being organized. Yeah, it's probably good to learn how to do it. It helps out in life. Sometimes it's more difficult for other people, but not the thing that, it's not like, what? I think that we really need to talk about this patriarchal society. Yeah, I know. We just don't want people to be organized. That's been the man code for a while now. Set smart short-term, and long-term career goals. No one's saying that's a bad thing, that if you want to set goals either. Not the thing that people are complaining about.
Smart, short-term, and long.
The penis stormed the beaches of Normandy? Well, I'm learning all kinds of history today.
Long-term career goals. Don't sit around and waste your mind with endless video games and social media. Develop yourself as a person and never stop growing.
I understand this part is hard. I understand that, in terms of it is really difficult not to use social media on a regular basis because it is just so incredibly addictive. And we've all given in to our drug of choice. Some of you may be addicted to that sweet, sweet Reddit. Some of you may need a little TikTok to, truly get to the moon, whatever it is. But it is true that if you start spending more time, and you can start a little bit at first, you don't have to go super hard into it, spend a little less time per day and a little more time on doing things that used to really fulfill you too. That's an important thing. It's like, oh, I used to love drawing. Oh, I really used to love reading novels. I really used to love doing this, but now I find I do this thing for like 2 hours and then get angry. I do that thing and then I'm angry, and then I'm like, whoa, 2 hours are gone. I'm just really angry, wild, and sad. So just a little bit at a time. That adage is true. It's 100% true.
Figure out.
And no, it doesn't make you a wuss, bro. Not gonna become a pussy. Whatever PragerU tells you.
What you believe and stand by it. Don't be spineless about your convictions. And don't let other people think for you or pressure you into their beliefs.
The earth is flat.
I'm watching a video right now where you are trying to impart beliefs upon other people.
Well, I guess based on your own rules, I reject them. Yeah, I'm being a man. Whew, I just feel more masculine. I reject
also,
you.
Don't drink skim milk.
Oh, I
I guess that makes sense.
Use your own brain, your own
Yeah, bro, like, you could have chosen a different outcome there, okay? You could have been like, well, maybe I want skim milk, or maybe I don't want milk at all. Who knows?
judgment, educate yourself, and form your own convictions. Use critical thinking skills, and
Use critical thinking skills, form your own convictions. Don't listen to what the mainstream media tells you. By the way, while I'm saying all this, for more free educational shows, visit PragerU.com. Go back to PragerU.com. Watch another video by PragerU.com. Maybe you should keep watching videos only exclusively by PragerU.com. And then use your critical thinking skills.
learn how to have a healthy relationship with your authorities. This means being respectful, but still willing to share your own ideas and stand up for yourself when needed.
Again, what? You realize there's a difference between being like, you should probably have a strong character, you should probably stand up for your beliefs if you truly believe in them, but you should also be open to listening to other people's opinions. You should have empathy for other people's predicaments, situations. It's not a bad thing or an inherently feminine thing to suddenly sympathize with someone else or empathize with someone else. These aren't bad things. There's those that's you know, no one's saying in the other. And by the way, the first thing discounted by the second. By pointing out that this isn't toxic enough.
I'm gonna need you to work Sundays from here on out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't work Sundays because we agreed to that when I took the job.
And don't shy away from
Are you serious? You fucking bootlickers. Well, I made a pact at the beginning to be as exploitable as possible. That's probably one of the things with me. I happen to be 17 in the sketch. And in the sketch, yeah, I'm young and I have to worry about my parents signing off on me having this job. So, yeah, I'll do whatever it really takes to keep doing this really shitty work all the time. Responsible.
That when I took the job.
I love how this is like, you could really show it to the fat cats if while you're in a minimum wage job, you say like, hey, I'm actually going to take personal responsibility and do this job exactly like I said. That'll show those fat cats. Really stick it to them.
And don't shy away from expressing yourself. Don't let insecurity make you shy away from who you are. It's okay to be a little weird, you know? Maybe you want to take a cooking class, but you're afraid your football team will make fun of you. So what? Don't be afraid.
But see, you're defining that now as weird. It's like, hey, it's okay to be a little weird, you know? Maybe you like a couple feminine things sometimes. We're going to allow that, right? So maybe you do want to cook. Hey, try it out. Maybe you want to do some, I don't know, dressmaking, sewing, something like that. Fashion design, maybe nursing, you know, something involving healthcare, teaching, you know, the woman's work, cleaning, cooking. If that's your thing, that's fine. It just stops there. All right? It's okay to be a little bit weird. Little weird. Okay? We'll accept you as long as it stops there. Let's have it just stop there, okay? You're just experimenting. Let's say that.
To be yourself.
Number 2, be strong. Deep down, every man wants to be strong. And it can go too far. But the desire to be strong is a good thing. Sometimes life requires you to be strong, whether it's protecting your loved ones or moving a couch.
Is there something about like right-wing comedy where they don't understand that just putting a bunch of silly things together doesn't in and of itself make a joke? Like if you like, it's when you make home movies when you're like 12 with your family or your cousins or something, it's like, why don't you throw everything on top of me? Like throw on the pillows and this and that, and we'll grab this funny clown costume and then blah, blah, blah. And then I'll run around screaming. Like, yeah, that's what you do when you're like a little kid. But like, you actually need to think of constructing the scene based on setting something up that you also want to like exemplify. What is the audience for this? I think this is supposed to apply to like PragerU teenagers is the only thing.
Having
like that's my
strength
read.
is satisfying and useful. Just don't let it go to your head. Taking on stupid dares and trying to prove how strong you are just makes you look insecure. And being too eager to get into a fight makes you look like an idiot. So don't.
I don't like the way you just looked at me. Yeah, let's go, little man. You wanna fight? Yeah. You wanna fight? Yeah.
Use your strength in useful.
Like, what are those accents supposed to be? Where's this location? What are we doing? What are the costumes? What are these individuals? Is this a particular organization that either of them are a part of? It's like it just seems like you were just like, all right, sounds were both like blah, and then Street Fighter, video game reference.
Ways like manual labor, self-defense, or saving the damsel in distress.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
They're supposed to be Arnold. Sometimes. There are times when that's been like, oh, so I guess this was supposed to be a Schwarzenegger like sketch, and then it just goes away. Then the sketch is gone, and it's like, well, this isn't Arnold anymore. Now it's just like you're making loud sounds.
I'll save you.
Number 3, fight your fears and be courageous when challenged. Every boy has a hero, whether it's Superman or a football star. And it's a really strong source of inspiration. The people you look up to as heroes are the people you try to be like. But that means you have to choose your heroes carefully. Having this guy as a hero,
Stop speeding, everybody! Stop speeding!
will lead to a very different place than this guy.
Our ancestors made a fair deal with these natives. And they said, you know what? In exchange for your peaceful pipes and your land, we'll give you smallpox.
One thing that good heroes have in common is that they don't walk away from challenges. They're confident
Good
and they
heroes.
overcome obstacles with determination.
Average
and
Fallon
grit.
bit.
They don't give up when things get tough, and they don't let disappointment defeat them. These are all things we can learn from heroes and do in our own lives. Even if you can't fly, there's still a lot to learn from Superman.
Number 4, be a gentleman. Masculinity isn't all about being rough and tumble like John Wayne in the wild prairies.
I would hope
It
not.
means knowing how to act appropriately for the occasion. This is called being a gentleman. For example, when it comes to women, a gentleman is strong, respectful, and gentle at the same time. Carry yourself.
Wait, why is strong the first one? what do you? Let's go back here for a second. When dealing with women, be strong, but then respectful, and then gentle.
Same time. Carry yourself with confidence. Don't be a noodle. But don't get too big for your britches and act like a jerk.
Hey, you should feel my shirt. It's made of boyfriend material.
If there's a girl you have feelings for, don't be afraid to ask her out. Give her a compliment and make your move before you miss your opportunity. Just remember, whether it's your girlfriend or not, treat women with respect. Open the door and offer to carry things.
You mind if I get that for you?
I love that it's like treat women with respect by occasionally doing some manual lifting for them. And in exchange, you will get sandwiches and house cleaning and child rearing. Yeah, that's the trade, right? Show respect.
Of course.
It's classy, and it's also a great opportunity to show respect. And be generous. Don't make a girl pay for her own meal. And when you're eating, mind your manners. Don't be a slob, and no weird scratching or bodily noises.
This whole thing, it's kind of interesting because it seems like as far as PragerU is willing to bend on a handful of things, being like, all right, so we're gonna make a move, let's just make an episode about masculinity to be able to teach like teenage boys what it's like to be masculine, and they should be proud to be masculine and stuff like that. And at points, it's like, okay, we're not gonna straight up say the thing we want to say, but we are gonna be like, it's okay for you, as a dude, to be a little weird, if you want to. Take a cooking class. Who knows? Maybe another period was all taken up. Maybe you couldn't get into wood shop, couldn't get into mechanics, had to take that cooking class, and you crushed it, and now you could be a master chef or something like that. That's, weird. That's just as far as we'd like you to go.
Well, this has been lovely. Same time next week.
Try to be considerate and patient. Realize that men and women are very different, and sometimes it's hard to understand the opposite.
By the way, none of this advice is really going to help people dating. This is the stuff that you assume or you read on a fucking Pinterest post. It's going to have a list of things where it's like, what you should do? Respect women. Be sure to be strong, but gentle, but respectful. Never make her pay for her own dinner. And also, if you like her, go up to her, make a compliment, make your move. Thank you, napkin advice article. I've read this and I will try these steps. Hopefully it works every time.
The gender. It can be frustrating.
I really don't like it when you make those noises.
What is with you women? You're so complicated.
Just don't let your frustration get the best of you. Realize that her being different than you is a good thing. So just relax and try to learn every opportunity you can. And
So the bare minimum is don't fucking lose your shit and storm off if you get the bare minimum of pushback. It's like, so I just have one little thing to say. What? Never understand you.
by the way, this applies to everyone around you, especially your loved ones. Be strong, but keep your strength under control. If you ever need an outlet for frustration, don't take it out on your loved ones. Go work out or play some sport.
Like, is this the bare minimum? It's like, yes, and by the way, if you need to break something, please don't make it be your partner. Don't do that, okay? Go join a fighting squad.
And burn off the energy in a way that doesn't hurt others. And once you've burned off that energy, you can go be pleasant and
Again, this seems like some weird kind of like, I don't know, almost feels very Christian, squished down version of what you think like a person is. Where all of a sudden it's like, yeah, and so of course as a man, you have to be strong and powerful, and all men want to be the strongest, because that's what we're reinforcing here. And so at some point your strength will overtake you, and you may want to beat your partner, but make sure you don't do that. Take that strength somewhere healthy, you know, like a gym or a fighting team. Do whatever you need to do. Just make sure that it doesn't ruin the relationship. Maintain the marriage.
love on the people around you.
In conclusion, masculinity is not about all the stereotypical things. It's about having character, respect, and strength on the inside and
That's weird, because this felt like a lot of stereotypes. This whole thing felt like stereotypes.
Number 1, be independent financially and mentally. Number 2,
Yeah,
be strong
youth pastor energy is the
and
best way
use
of putting
your
it.
strength for
Funky
good.
delicate.
Number 3, fight your fears and be courageous when challenged.
Fight
And
your
number
fears.
4, be a gentleman and control your strength.
Thank you for watching this how-to video for Prager.
I mean, it is Dennis Prager, so you know deep down there's that whole weird-ass Dennis Prager thing where it's like, because you know what men would be were it not for the Bible. 'Tis only the Bible that keeps them in check. Controls them. It keeps us safe.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.